Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For my OG subscribers, thank you. Anybody that's new and watching this for the first time, welcome to the family. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe and share. Today I have a very special video for you guys. I am going to share with you why I chose being a PA over an MD. For those of you who don't know what a PA is a physician assistant or physician associate. I made a whole video about that. It's my very first video. Go ahead and watch it because I'm not going in depth in this video. I'm just going to share with you guys why I specifically chose to be a PA over an MD. If you don't know what an MD is a medical doctor, also known as a physician. The reason why I decided to share this with you guys is so that if you are that person that's at a point in life where you're trying to decide whether to be a PA or an MD, maybe this will clarify it for you and you can choose the profession that better fits your lifestyle. So that being said, let's get to it. If you have watched my previous videos, you would hear me talk about, my PA journey and all that. Like most PAs, I was pre-med before. That means, during undergrad, I was preparing myself for medical school. So I took all the prereqs, I took the MCAT, I started my medical school application, got my letters of recommendations, and that was all before I found out about PA. Now you cannot pay me enough to go to medical school and do residency and become an MD because I love my job. I am so content with what I do that I have no desire to go and become a physician. So why did I decide to be a PA over an MD? For me, the number one selling point was the fact that PAs have the ability to move between specialties. It's very flexible for you to go from primary care to internal medicine to pediatrics to cardiothoracic we don't have to do extra training when we switch specialties because we can get trained on the job. If I was to become an MD or a physician, I would have to specialize, during residency and then stick to that field that I chose. If a physician wants to, switch specialties, they can do that when they're doing their education. They have the ability to choose what specialty they want to be, practicing when they are done. However, once they are fully licensed, it's not as easy as it is for PAs. They would have to maybe go back and do residency again and to fully specialize in that other field. Whereas for a PA, you just find the job and you can get on the job training. Right now I'm in spine surgery. So say after a couple of years, if I want to do cardiothoracic or if I want to do family medicine, I don't have to go back to school. All I have to do is apply for jobs, get hired and get training on the job. And that was a major, major selling factor for me because I am that person that loves different fields, and the fact that I don't have to worry about ever going back to school to switch specialty. It just gives me that peace of mind. So that was the number one selling factor for me. The second thing is the length of the education, right? So PA, once you get your bachelor's, the program itself takes 2 to 3 years because it's master's level. So that is total of 4 plus 3, like 7 years, right? Max. Some people can go ahead and do residency. Say if you really truly want to be in emergency medicine and you want to do residency, you have the ability to do that. But most people don't do residency because, like I said earlier, we can just get training on the job. If you want to be a physician, the length of training is much, much longer. You would have to do extra maybe 6 to 12 years after you're done with your bachelor's. So 4 years of bachelor's, 4 years of medical school, 2 to 6 years of residency. If you want to do fellowship, add that. It's quite a long journey. And for me, my passion was medicine. If PA did not exist, I would probably become a physician. However, the fact that I have that option of becoming a PA, practicing medicine, doing what I love without having to go through all that schooling was a selling factor for me. The third point is the cost of the education itself. I went to an expensive school and I wish somebody had told me before I went to my school, that at the end what really matters is that you are board certified and you pass your board exam. If somebody had told me that, I would have probably gone to like a much cheaper schools, because some PA schools are really cheap. Mine was a little bit more expensive. That being said, medical school is even much more expensive. Some physicians are close to 300,000 in debt when they graduate, whereas PAs average give or take 80 to 90k. But if you went to a really expensive school like I did, you could be close to 200k. I got a scholarship, a really big scholarship, and I still have over 100k in debt. So go figure. My next point is having a good work-life balance. I am that person that wants to enjoy her job, but also wants to enjoy her life outside of work. So as a PA, I can choose whether I want to be on call or not. I'm in surgery, our patients are at the hospital. Sometimes they stay, well, a lot of the times they stay over the weekend, they're there at night. I don't have to take calls. I chose to take calls in my practice, but I don't have to take calls. And my supervising doctors have to, because they're the surgeons, and if there's something going on at 2 a.m. at night, they have to take the call. If something urgent happens, they have to show up at the hospital regardless of what time of the day it is. I don't have to do that, and I am perfectly happy with that. I will take care of my patients, but when I go home, I want that to be my me time and not have to worry about work. So having that really good work-life balance was something else that made me choose PA over an MD. That being said, there are doctors out there that have a perfect work-life balance. It's doable. It depends on the specialty. It depends on whether it's their own practice versus they're working at the hospital. So this is not black and white. There's always a way around things. However, overall, PAs do have better life-work balance. So those are some of the key things that made me choose PA over an MD. That being said, what are some of the downside to being a PA, right? Like, the biggest thing that you would hear is we have to work in collaboration with physicians. Our scope of practice depends on the scope of practice of the physicians that is supervising us. Yes, the word supervising, some people run away from that. They do not want to be supervised. They don't want to work under anybody. They don't want somebody delegating tasks and telling them what to do. When you are a PA, you work under, you're supervised by, you're collaborating with a supervising physician. Listen very carefully. As a PA, you work under a supervising physician. You work in collaboration with the doctor. You are an extension of the doctor. It's a teamwork. You are an integral part of the team. What does that mean? That means you don't call the shots. Somebody else calls the shots. And some people have problem with that. They want to do what they want to do when they want to do it. As a PA, your supervising doctor, tells you what to do, or your scope of practice. Now that we got that out of the way, what does it mean to be supervised by a physician, or what does it mean to work collaboratively with that doctor? Okay, I want to explain that to you. It depends on the specialty. It depends on the location, it depends on the state, it depends on the country. Some PAs work by themselves and they don't see the supervising doctor for months. Maybe they will see the supervising doctor once a month, or once every 3 months, or once every 6 months, and they run the whole show by themselves. They work autonomously 99% of the time. Some PAs work with their supervising provider every single day. They work hand in hand, they're in the same office. Some see their supervising doctor once a week. Some are supervised by multiple doctors. So it really depends on where you're at. Your scope of practice, again, like I said, depends on the scope of practice of the provider, right? So what that means is you can do as much as the doctor that you're working with lets you do. For example, this really comes to light, especially when you're doing surgery, right? I can do as much as my attending lets me do. That means another PA that is in surgery may not be doing as much as I am doing, or I may not be doing as much as another PA in a different surgery specialty is doing. I hope this point is clear. I know it can get confusing, but that is all the beauty of being a PA. It's not black and white. It's just so many shades, and you will see people doing all type of things. It's really dependent on where you are at, who you're working with, which hospital system you are, which country you're at. It's not cut and dry, is what I'm trying to say, basically. If you haven't seen my first video about what a PA profession is, I highly recommend that you go watch it, because I really do talk about what PAs do in general. This video, again, doesn't do justice to the scope of practice of a PA, because we do so much. So while we're still in this, section of having a supervising provider, a lot of people, don't like that. They do want to be the ones that call the shot. They do want to be the ones that delegate. They do want to run the show. And if you're that person, I think being a physician will probably better fit your personality. That way, you're the one calling all the shots. If you are a person that really doesn't care about that, and you're just happy giving the best patient care out there, practicing medicine, and you really do want to have, a good life-work balance, really high job satisfaction, then I would say maybe being a PA is a better option for you. If you look at the statistics, the past, I would say at least 2020 and 2021, PA was rated the #1 job in US News. I think it was in US News. It was rated as the #1 job in healthcare and the #1 job overall. So that says a lot about the profession. Not every profession is for everybody. Go ahead and do your own research, look into it, see the pros and the cons, see if it fits your lifestyle, see if it's something that could potentially make you happy. By all means, go ahead and do as much research as possible. Again, this is just my opinion, and it's not the only opinion out there. There are great YouTubers out there that give you a lot of information about the PA profession, and again, tell you why they chose being a PA over an MD. Also watch videos about, other people talking about why they chose being an MD over a PA. You really do want to see the two sides to everything. Again, I am a PA, and I am just telling you from my point of view why I chose being a PA. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe it helps you make your own decision. Maybe it fires you to go and do more research. Always do research before you choose anything. Whatever it is, always get all your facts, okay? As always, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a thing or two from it. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this and, looking into my content. So until next time, I wish you nothing but the best. Bye.